Anyone else experience visual issues in their lifetime? I know I have. Initially, I was the kid that we were amazed that could see so far, could read the exit signs so far away. Like that was one of the early thoughts, like around vision that I remember having. Um, and then I really never thought about it again. But I do remember, like, wow, you can see that? That's crazy. You have great eyes. Um, I remember the next time I thought about my own eyes or my own vision, and it's what an interesting concept, right? Vision, like we have it. It's not the same in everybody, but it's our own. So we actually have to ask questions. We actually have to talk to each other to see, is visual perception the same in everybody? Do I see exactly like the other person next to me? If I'm an athlete, do my eyes work like my direct competition? A lot of questions, a lot of interesting questions. But that was the first time I remember talking or thinking that's the first time I remember anything about my own vision was, wow, he sees so clear. The next time was we were in like a sandwich shop and it was just in between soccer games. I think it was a soccer tournament, and I was with teammates, and I'm talking to the guys while we're waiting in line, and I think before I know it, like something is in my eye, and like I remember kind of flinching around and looking, and I saw this like a paper airplane, like the point of it's in my eye, and the paper airplane is here, and like I remember like pulling it out, feeling it come out, looking around, and it was one of the brothers um, that thought, "Hey, this will be fun. Let me build it. Let me make a paper airplane and just throw it at somebody." Um, Fully honest, like I'm sure he wasn't going, "All right, let me aim right at the corner of that guy's eye." But nonetheless, it was like, whoa. And I remember being kind of like embarrassed, like, why is this, like something happened to me? I'm the center of attention. I don't like that. Then the next time I thought of my own vision, I remember an eye test, like really young, or it must have been like middle school. And they were like, hey, yeah, he could use glasses. You don't have to use glasses, but he might need them. That was enough to go, all right, we're not going to do that. Then it was college. College was the next time that I really thought about my own vision. I was struggling as a student. I wasn't able to just sit and be in a lecture. My mind would race. I'd get headaches. I'd feel gross, and I don't remember why. Or I think I. Oh, that's right. It was a biology class. Yeah, biology. And I was in a lecture hall, and I'm going, man, I'm just really struggling to see to the front. So I'd start moving up, and that helped, but it wasn't great. And then I don't know why, but I went to an optometrist again, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you could definitely use glasses." I went, okay, so I got glasses. This was probably like senior year of college. So I got glasses. They helped, but they also came with a cost. So yes, I could see the board more clearly, or I could see the project or the PowerPoint, whatever it was that we were working on. But I remember after wearing them, like even just taking them off in class, like the lights would be brighter, and I would have a little bit of a like more of a problem kind of seeing without my glasses. And I kind of went and I didn't know why. I didn't know anything about vision, anything about neurology at that point. But I just remember feeling like that's not worth it. Like I can still see. I just need to be like really close. I need to really focus if I'm going to. Ultimately, it probably led to me going to class less. It's like, well, like this is hard. This is like not only is it hard intellectually, it's hard neurologically. At that point, I had a lot of concussion history, a lot of brain stuff going on. I didn't know that at the time, But that was the easiest solution, was just stay in bed, don't go to class, pick up the PowerPoint. They're going to lecture on the PowerPoint anyway. So I can, like, they send you that. So I need to go to class to listen to them talk about the PowerPoint. Not really interested. That was a small handful of professors. There were some that really took teaching us as a, not a responsibility. Like, it was they felt responsible for us learning things. Others, I think they were more into the research side of being a professor. There are other requirements for or for professors at big or at universities in general. Sometimes it's not about teaching a undergrad biology class. It's about doing bio research with those that are bio degrees. And I can't blame them. But at the same time, I did spend a lot of money on an education for someone to update a PowerPoint and then just say the PowerPoint. I don't think that's quite fair from our or from our academic system. But nonetheless, that's how I looked at it. I went, I'm going to go to this class. I'm going to deal with a headache. I'm going to feel gross. I'm not going to remember much of anything. It's going to be very challenging for my eyes and like seeing the board, seeing whatever we're looking at. If I do wear my glasses, yes, that makes it easier, but then it's harder to go outside. I'm light sensitive when I'm inside, and my vision's worse. Like, it's worse that once I put the glasses on and took them off, now I'm seeing even less than like before I had them on in the first place. So didn't know they were a crutch, but they're a crutch. They allow your eyes to be bad, and they say we'll take over. We will be the tool, but unfortunately, we live in that. We know that world. You don't get a better prescription as you go to the eye doctor. Slowly, you just get a weaker or a stronger prescription, because your vision is getting weaker and less clear and less functional over time. And that's something that I wanted. That's kind of what I was thinking about this morning. It's like, what a telltale that we're not doing well. That a lot of that everybody has a degradation of their primary sensory system, declining with age. I don't think that is a normal thing. I think that is a construct, or that is a result of us out accelerating our own evolutionary history with the environment that we live in. I think that, yes, screens are awesome. They're great tools, but they are starting to become our masters, and they are not good masters. I don't remember that quote. It's a great one. I just read it in Better Than Before by Gretchen Rubin. They're great tools, but they're very bad masters. Something along those lines. Another way of putting it is, we create tools. Those tools end up creating us. And we don't know what the new us is from this massive evolutionary acceleration in our own history. If you thought about the evolution of us 100 years ago, that is a lot different than right now. Exponentially different. If you go pre-internet, the world is so much different than it is now. And it got like a lot better really fast. So we don't know what it's going to do to us, but we're starting to see some trends, and having the distance vision of kids deteriorating at the fastest rate in human history. That's a telltale. Our vision gets worse. Our primary way of getting through the world. One of my favorite quotes, or I don't know if it was from Dr. Cobb or Z Health in particular, but our eyes are the way that we touch the world, and they're getting worse at an alarming rate. Something's up that we need to pay attention to. Something in our world is not helping us. We are being owned by tools that we use. We are no longer owning them. So, little caveat on that, and then we go back to, okay, me thinking about my own vision. This goes somewhere, and it partially is the hey, we've made it too easy for ourselves that our brains are reducing in their activation. We need to make some things harder. We need to get back to doing things ourselves, not having tools do them for us. And we need to put some importance on that. I think that will be a big part of us kind of getting back to a brain that grows through time, not a brain that deteriorates through time. I think we are in deterioration mode. Alzheimer's, dementia, mental disorders, mental disabilities, mental health is now a massive, massive topic in our culture. And I think it's because our brains are dying. We are in an environment. We are disconnected from everybody. We no longer have our communities. We no longer have our place in communities, and it's negatively affecting us, along with all of the additional tools. Look at what the pandemic did. I watched a neighbor in the same little apartment complex that I lived in San Diego. I didn't see them for a month. I saw their door open plenty of times, but I did not see a human come from that door for a month. Everything was delivered, meaning they're on their phone, they're on their TV, they're on their computer, and no interaction necessary. It's not good. Yeah, oh, how nice it is to have your groceries delivered. It comes with a cost. Oh, how nice it is to have so much entertainment without having to leave my apartment. It comes with a cost. It comes with human costs because, again, we're not wired for this yet. We will be. It's going to be a different person. It's going to be an unathletic person, a overweight person, potentially a pretty bright, intelligent person, considering the amount of information at your fingertips. Probably very good at online platforms and video games, but the world as we know it we're changing at a not a good direction currently. Back to my own vision. So I'm wearing glasses. Don't like it. I'm in the strength and conditioning world now. I'm out of college. I am. Why did I go toward? Oh, I got promoted in the strength and conditioning facility to be the director of the business aspect of that facility. I didn't know it wasn't for me until I tried it and said yes, I'll take that job. Much of it was ego. Of, oh, look at this the position I'm in. Was not. I knew I could do it, but it's not. It doesn't motivate me. It doesn't get me up in the morning doing business work, making packages and plans and advertising and trying to get athletes into the facility. Gross. So I'm in that role though, and I have a lot more computer time, and like I'm realizing, like man, like it's hard to do this amount of computer work. I had an optometrist client. I was like, hey, I'm struggling here. Like, can I come in, check my eyes, maybe get some glasses, contacts, something of the sort? He goes, oh, absolutely, come on in. Made it really easy for me. Really awesome guy too. Like he's just a fantastic person. Just helped me out, made it easy. Strength and conditioning coach. Anyone in the working with humans and helping their health and are like at the foundational level. It's not a great living any which way you put it. You got to get into the prestigious world of doctors and PhDs. But the further you go there, the less you're helping people in a lot of aspects. So he knew. So he knows how much his package is and how much I like probably take home from that package. So he helped me out financially with it. Like I walk away and I go, great, I've got contacts and glasses. And shortly after I moved to San Diego. So I was still in the like getting comfortable putting contact lenses in. That was a miserable process. Like it took me 30 minutes to put one in one time. Obviously, it's a skill in itself. You get more practice with it. It gets easier, just like anything else. So I'm in San Diego. I'm still like new to contacts. And I don't know if you know anything between like Portland area and San Diego, but the sun is a little different and it's out a lot more. And that was my initial take on why it was so hard for me to spend a lot of time outside. Just I thought, man, I'm an Oregonian. Like we get sun July, August, some of September, and then some random intermittent Sundays sprinkled in through there. But we got a lot of gray days and a lot of rain. Just even hearing me say that, I don't know. I don't know that Oregon is long term for me. I like sun. I like nice weather. I like being outside, and I've gotten to a point where weather is. I determine if it's gross out. I walk in the rain with the gear now. You can go out in anything. It's just a matter of wanting to and feeling like it's important to. So yeah, I'm out in the torrential downpour. I'm out in the freaking what feels like gale force winds, and obviously I'm out a lot during the sunny days. But big challenge being in the Northwest. So I thought, oh, I haven't been out here. That's why I'm dealing with all of this light sensitivity. Like I remember a day going from the gym, inside the gym I worked in, to the pool. Just take a breather. You've got like eight clients a day. You split them 4 and 4 with a lunch and a workout in the middle. And I had about 10 minutes before my next client. So I just hit the pool deck and I couldn't open my eyes. Like I literally was standing out there going, my God, like it is so bright. And then so this is actually like I had already started my education in applied neurology, and I'm starting to learn about the vision system and the SAID principle from a neurologic perspective, specific adaptation to imposed demands. Super fancy. What does it mean? We get good at what we practice. We get good at what we do. We adapt to the demands that we put on ourselves. Neurologically, you could take it a step further, and it would be specific or exact adaptation to imposed demands. So we adapt to exactly what we do. And that is a big concept that we'll talk about that is really big in sport. I don't think athletes play their sport enough. I think they do a lot of other things expecting that it makes them better at their sport, but I don't think that's actually the case. I think by playing their sport more in a constructive, growth-oriented environment, they will get exponentially further than all the other things that they do that aren't their sport to try and get better at their sport. The problem, there aren't a lot of growth-minded, great environments for athletes. Adults ruin them most of the time. Another conversation for a later date. So I'm in San Diego. It's super bright out. I'm realizing as I'm learning this about neurology, I'm like, I'm adapting to contacts and glasses, which means every time I'm not in my contacts and glasses, my vision will be worse than prior to getting contacts and glasses. So at that course that I learned about pinhole glasses, if you haven't listened, most people haven't at this point. I was standing in front of a Snellen chart and I went, ooh, I took my glasses off. I'm at 2100 vision. That's terrible. Terrible, 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 any which way you put it. I put pinhole glasses on that have these little black little holes in this black plastic. I saw 2015 and I went, whoa, that's insane. Like that is a lifelong, I will always remember that impression. So that was my initial of, my eyes are terrible now. They weren't this bad before contacts and glasses. And now I know about SAID principle. We adapt to what we do. So if I am correcting my vision, I'm going to adapt my neurology to corrected vision. So if I don't have my tools, my contacts or glasses, I'm going to be in a bad spot. So I made that decision that day to be like, no, I'm done with contacts and glasses. I remember getting back to San Diego, starting to use pinholes a tremendous amount to see if I could, gain adaptation towards better vision using different tools. So these guys just take away some of the visual input, and a lot of people, their eyesight is not good because of a hyperactive midbrain. You have a brain stem. Midbrain is at the top of it. It's the accelerator for your system. So if you need to ramp up, fight, flight, play a sport, do something with intensity, this area of your brain is going to increase activation. Your pons and medulla are the brakes of the whole system. So if you need to calm down, if you need to relax, if you need to bring yourself down from the moment, whatever it is, that area is what helps. You've got your cortex that sits right on top of that brainstem. Your cortex, along with a lot of other jobs, is firing into your brainstem. Your brainstem you can think of as survival center and first brain. Cortex you can think of as our new brain, the brain that we have evolved over time to allow us to do all the things that we do, as our second brain. Second brain fires into first brain constantly, saying, hey, it's safe, hey, it's safe, while your first brain goes, is it safe, 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 on a moment-to-moment basis. So your second brain, your processing center, is taking in all the information from your environment, going, no threat. Hey, buddy, it's safe down there. No threat, it's safe. No threat, it's safe. No threat, it's safe. So for me, head injuries changed the cerebral blood flow, changed how my brainstem worked. No longer am I efficient in that process of, hey, is it safe? Where's the answer? So if you're not getting the talk of your brain working well, the fastest thing is to stay ready, stay accelerated, like keep your foot on the gas at some level, because it's way easier to stay up and get away versus have to get up and get away. So the midbrain becomes a very hyperactive area of damaged brains. It might not be head injuries. You could have had a lot of different medications. You could have had a serious injury or a surgery, or even antibiotics can do it. They kill everything inside of your body. Yes, important, but you need to know that and build back up the important stuff, like your gut biome. It doesn't have to go back after that one bout of pneumonia that you needed the antibiotics for. It could ultimately change your gut function for a long time and ultimately change who you are. So I knew that I needed to stay out of contacts and glasses long term if I didn't want to just essentially have this flat out deterioration effect. But I still dealt with light sensitivity. Now I'm dealing with obviously visual acuity issues. It's just blurrier. I remember immediately getting back to the gym, like before I left for that Z Health course, I was wearing my contacts for work every day. And at like experiencing pinholes, thinking about said principle, going, oh, I'm working myself into a bigger problem long term. I remember the day coming back and not wearing my contacts in the gym. I couldn't see faces across from the main floor of the gym. Went, wow, that's not good. All right, embrace it. Like, I'll start trying to do things for myself to improve my vision, make my brain healthy again, and hopefully kind of calm this first brain hyperactivity by improving my overall system's ability to to go through moment to moment survival and moment to moment evaluation of my environment, to get to a point where my first brain, my brainstem goes, is it safe? My cortex goes, it's safe. And I actually calm down. And that is the effect now, but it took a long time to get there. So I remember another point where I thought, so now vision is kind of on my mind all the time. As soon as I took a Z Health course, the essentials overview of 3 different courses, I went, vision's important. It can get worse. It can get better. you can train it. Sweet. And the more you train it, the better it gets, the better you are as a person. That's freaking awesome. I love that idea. So I am in, they have a course called Structure, and Structure was essentially all of the neurology. So the vestibulospinal tracts and the vestibulocerebellum and what those two conversations do to us. Spinal thalamic tracts and dorsal columns and cortical spinal tracts, that's our movement track. Like just neurology. A lot of neurology. The first time I took it, just slammed me in the face. Like I'm numb, I can't even think. I'm going, what the heck did I just learn about? Because go figure, it's not just the book work. It takes the book work and turns it into assessment and application. So it's not just try and learn this like lecture. It's learn this lecture, learn how to assess, be assessed. And I've got a lot of brain damage. Didn't know it early in my Z Health curriculum, but like everything we're doing is just poking at my already pissed off brain. So like I'm thrashed at the end of this first course going, what did I just do? And other people are talking, oh, this is so great, I love this, and the spinal thalamic tract, that's so cool. They're already like memorizing everything, and I'm going, shh, like too much. I have so much to work through up here. The second time I went to Structure, I learned and had the immediate aha awareness of, I have brain damage. This is what the frontal lobe does. I have trouble with that. Brain damage. This is what the temporal lobe does. I've got trouble with what the temporal lobe is supposed to do. Got brain damage. I've got occipital lobe damage. My visual acuity is off. I wasn't seeing a soccer ball the same late in my career. The temporal lobe part, hard to see or hard to recognize faces, extremely hard to remember things, not good at it. I had balance issues because of the amount of concussions and the Advil usage and the antibiotic usage. I put myself into a deficit there, so now the temporal lobe isn't processing balance the same. Frontal lobe, anger, impulse control, critical thinking. Like I was amazed by people that could sit in a lecture and ask a unique question. I could ask, can you repeat that? But for someone to go, oh, we just learned about this, and then we learned about that yesterday. So does that mean that these things kind of go together? I was amazed by people like that could actually think through things that we were learning and ask questions and gain clarity on it. That continued into my strength and conditioning career, where I'd go to these courses and people, like, we would be all learning the same thing at the same time, and someone would ask, oh, are you familiar with this? Is that kind of like that? I'm like, wow, I wish I could. I remember sitting there going, I wish I could ask questions. I wish I could. So second Structure hit me in the face. It's like, oh, I've got work to do. I've got brain damage. This is no longer about cool tricks for myself when I'm lifting. It's no longer about, oh yeah, that shoulder feels a little bit better. It's no longer about bringing tools for my clients so I could be a better coach. It was, I have work to do on myself. I don't remember the dates of these. I could go back through and see when I paid for them and all that kind of stuff. But the third Structure was back in soccer at this point. So strength and conditioning coach in Oregon, strength and conditioning coach in San Diego. Go through a period in my Z Health education that I'm going, I'm not a strength coach anymore, but I don't know what I am. And at this point, I am a neuroathletic performance coach. I am the sports performance coach for a soccer academy in San Diego. I'm overseeing we'll call it 5.5 teams. 5 of them were on site. The 6th one, the oldest group, kind of had to bounce around, so I didn't get the same exposure to them. But for 5 groups, 5? Yeah, 5. 5. I am a sports performance coach. We are playing every weekend. It is like we had about 2.5 weeks off in December, part of Thanksgiving break off, a little bit of spring break off. It's pretty much full year-round soccer, and I'm loving it. I'm applying all of the Z Health stuff to all of the kids. We had Sports Performance Monday, which was my training day that I looked at. Where are we in the season? I periodized what we were going to work on. Ultimately, it was skill development day. So work on running mechanics, work on vision skills that are required by your sport, work on the different ways that you need to be able to move your head and maintain balance and speed with. Respiratory training, barefoot training. It was awesome. I loved it. It was so creative, and it just gave me everything that I wanted to do with Z Health. Just give it back to the next generation of soccer players, because that's what I am, or what I was. And I remember going, man, I had finished the whole curriculum and then some. I'm still working with personal clients. And I remember walking the beach going, what do I want to do with this? Like, it's a brain education, meaning I can help anyone with a brain. Anyone. Who do I want to help? And like, I remember some of the daydreaming moments of like, oh, I could help musicians play their music better, project better if they're singers, last longer on the road, like play better on tour. I could, oh, that would be sweet. I could help, like I could work with basketball players and their 3-point percentages and their free throw percentages and how well they can defend. I don't like being in gyms. I just left those. What else could I do with this? I could help the older population that's dealing with Alzheimer's, dementia, all of those terrifying brain things that we are now seeing more and more and more of, because again, we have made it too easy for ourselves. Everything we've done as the evolution of man in our current society is, hey, great, this takes effort away from our brain. Ah, great, this takes effort away from my brain. I mean, just think about writing versus typing, or reading versus listening to a podcast. They are completely different activities. And if you know that you can re-listen to things, your memory doesn't have to work as hard. Like I read something on Abe Lincoln. He made a speech, gave the speech once, and never gave the points again. To go, I don't want to muddle this. I said it once. I don't want the interpretation to change. Go back and read my speech. Like, amazing that he was able to just take a 4-hour block once and then just say, oh, yep, that's in there, go refer back. Oh, that's in there, go refer back. Like the memory capacity of storytelling, etc. Like that's how we got our early history, right? People remembering things, passing it on. It's pretty impressive. We don't live there anymore. People can't even remember where they put their keys. So again, our tools have become masters of us, and our master is making us work less and less and less and less and less. So again, I'm walking on the beach. I'm going, what do I want to do with this? I could help anyone. And then I went, oh, that's overwhelming. So what do I love? What have I loved? What do I want to be a part of? What would I do every day if money wasn't a component of that? I think that's Alan Watts, the philosopher. I went, man, I haven't played soccer. I haven't been around soccer. Like soccer's it. Like I want to give. I wish I had some of this education and training in my own career. I don't know what would have happened. I don't know what would have happened if we were rehabbing my concussion at 9 years old. I don't know what would have happened if these things didn't compound over time to create ultimately a shutdown of the system. Hey, you can't do that anymore. You got pain, you got problems, you are not in a good place mentally, neurologically. Just stop. So really, my brain and body failed me to continue the sport, and I went, man, if I can help one kid avoid what I went through in my career, God, that would be freaking awesome. So I sent emails all over San Diego to every soccer club, to every university. One got back, and he said, "Hey, opportunity. Like it's about timing of opportunity, and I need a goalkeeper coach and a sports performance coach." I went, awesome. Started with goalkeeping, immediately started applying the sports performance work, got to the point where now I'm hired as the goalkeeper coach and sports performance coach, and then I get Monday, and I'm loving it. I worked with the goalkeepers. We did a lot of vision training, inner ear work, balance work, complex nonlinear movement, reaction time stuff. It looked all completely different than goalkeeper training in my own career. If I had to describe it simply, goalkeeper training for me was commando work. It's one of my favorite ways that I've heard some of the old dogs talk about old school goalkeeper training. Ultimately, they tried to break us. Just dive, 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 dive. Get up for this. Go down for that. Get up for that. Go down for this. Make a massive save. Go over there and make a save. It was just exhausting, hard work exercise. It didn't necessarily need to make you a better goalkeeper. It often didn't. It just made us more injury prone. But that was it. It was just work your butt off, and it's the no pain, no gain model. And it couldn't be more wrong. The idea there is if we put you through a ton of pain and break you down, you will build back up stronger. That is a very, very, very fine, deliberate direction that you need to take if that's how you want to use that. Threat inoculation is a thing. Again, nothing is out there that didn't help somebody, but I'm on the pursuit of how do I help everybody that comes to me, not some people. But that's the world we are in, is some people get help, and then if you don't get help, they'll tell you why you're the problem, and then you get discouraged, don't go somewhere else for a while, then you gather the motivation to go find somewhere else to help. If they don't help, you are the problem, and it just kind of repeats. So obviously commando style, work them into the ground, no pain, no gain, work for some. But if we're talking less than 1% go to play sports professionally, and that is our primary way of going about things, is just working people into the ground and they will be stronger because of it, I think we could do better. Plain and simple. So I'm in Z Health round 3. I'm in San Diego. I am working as a sports performance coach, but I am I'm in sunglasses all the time. I'm no longer wearing my contacts and glasses. My vision has improved from doing neurologic training, but I'm still dealing with light sensitivity stuff. This is an ongoing, it has been going on forever kind of a thing. I didn't know that it could be different. They're that much different. So I just expected, like, all right, I have sunglasses when I'm outside. I'm fine inside. Keep doing my drills. Keep my vision at least in a functional capacity that I can get through everything. Use my pinholes. Like I used to read with pinholes. I used to do a lot of stuff with those on. And we are assessing the brainstem. So structure, again, is all the neurologic structures. So you can assess them all. So we're assessing them. We're getting to know them. So I've got essentially my findings on this sheet. And I'm looking at it going, okay, I've got a cranial nerve 1 deficiency on the right, cranial nerve 2 deficiency on the left, cranial nerve 3 deficiency on the left and right, Cranial nerve 4 looks pretty good. Cranial nerve 5, a little deficiency on the right. Cranial nerve 6, deficiency on the left. I remember this. Like this was an important class for me because it took just trying things and testing and retesting to sniper focus on exactly what I need to make some changes happen. So cranial nerve 6, we said left side. Cranial nerve 7, right side. Cranial nerve 8, right and left side. Cranial nerve 9, right side deficiency. 10, didn't really test respiration, internal response. Actually, no, we did. Autonomic. 10's a little bit of a harder one. It's the vagus nerve. If you didn't know, wandering nerve, longest nerve. It has a ton of responsibilities, and most of them are internal regulation and processing. So we'll skip that one for now. 11 was right side deficiency, which is protect your neck, so SCM and trap. 12 was a right side deficiency. So I'm looking at it going, I've got a very heavily deficient, underactive, damaged, whatever, right brainstem with some left brainstem stuff sprinkled in. Go figure, the bilateral areas that I had deficiency, like cranial nerve 8, vestibulocochlear, hearing imbalance, hit my head a lot of times in my life, took a lot of Advil, had antibiotic usage, like all of that stuff has shown. Those are health history questions to say, hey, we probably need to look at cranial nerve 8. So I had a bilateral deficiency in that. Hearing in both was bad, but right was a little worse. Getting blurry responses on pretty much every head movement. So the test for that would be looking at a Snellen chart, moving your head. Does that letter that you're looking at stay clear? If it doesn't, and you have to move up 2 lines or more, deficient. If you get to move down, so a harder line, shows that there's some rehab to do, and that rehab is worth it. It will help you create some visual clarity, visual acuity. So I'm sitting there with that information, and I'm looking at it going, brainstem, I got work to do. Let's put together a drill. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm going, okay. I had always wondered, like, kind of the things that are in the pons kind of work with each other in the pons. You have some overlap between like midbrain pons medulla. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Think above pons, 2, 3, 4 medulla. Or I'm sorry, midbrain, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 pons, 9, 10, 11, 12 medulla. So there are some crossovers between those, but there was something that was intriguing to me, and I had seen it with clients. I had seen it on myself. I was like, there's some sort of connection specifically between the trigeminal nerve, cranial nerve 5, which is muscles of mastication, helping you chew, sensation of teeth and mouth, sensation of scalp and face. Like, it's a big one. It's a big nerve. It branches out across your whole face like that. There was something around cranial nerve 5 and the medulla, and I didn't know what. But I'm like, I'm seeing something here that I'm not grasping as making sense as to how I've been taught to see the nervous system currently. And go figure, within that structure course, new information coming out. That's why I was in it for the 3rd time. Neurology is in. We are accelerating our understanding of brain function at an alarming rate. So much research is coming out, so much support of theory that was just, oh, that's cuckoo stuff a while before we knew functionally what was happening with brains. So there's a return for free policy at Z Health saying, if you come once, great, but things are changing so fast that you might become out of date pretty quick. So my plan was to take Z Health courses the rest of my life as long as they were in person. They're no longer in person because of the pandemic. It's all a taped, recorded curriculum, which I'm so glad that they were able to pivot. But man, the magic was in the courses. Like, for me, being in person, 32 hours, 8 hours a day, learn neurology, learn assessment, learn coaching, and just assess and coach and be coached and go back and learn and assess and coach and be coached. Man, what a powerful what a powerful stimulus for change, especially when it comes to how your brain is working. So I'm coming back from every course better as a coach, better personally because we're working on all this stuff, and putting together drills for independently for the athletes or the people that we're working with. We're trying to solve problems, pain, movement issues, strength issues, athletic issues, you name it. People bring their issues and a lot walk away with solutions. And I'll tell some of those stories at another time. So I'm in that class. I'm learning, like I already know I got brain damage from round 1 or from round 2. Now I'm deliberately putting things together to try and improve how I function. So for me, I was like, man, like we go on breaks, 5-minute break, whatever, and at this course particularly, I would go outside and be like, oh yeah, light sensitivity is not good right now. All of these things become kind of neurologic tells for you. So every day is not a great day when it came to light sensitivity. I would have great days where I'm not wearing or I'm not wearing sunglasses, I'm not squinting, like I feel good. Other days it's and I looked at those as I've got work to do days. Like my brain's not doing very well, it's not happy for whatever reason. I think that one was I did fly to Arizona. I stayed at a friend's house versus like an Airbnb. So there was already just a heightened level of stress, a heightened level of activation, being social when I would be shut down at other courses, flying out versus driving out. So I'm like, wow, light sensitivity is not good. So I'm sitting there, I've got my brainstem findings, and I go, let's put together a drill. We're about to go on break. Let's see if I can do something for light sensitivity. So this was the drill. I smelled something with my right nostril because it was deficient. I tried to increase the strength of it by being aware of it. I did a vision drill that was essentially convergence of a target up and in, which is a cranial nerve 3 activation. I knew I had bilateral 3. Why? Because being assessed, my coach said as I got my eyes up and in, as that target got close, my eye muscles could not maintain the fixation on that target. And I went, okay. Eye muscles are small. They're supposed to have almost undetectable smooth control of your eyes. So if you see skips or if you see them moving when there's a stationary target, gives you an idea that you've got some vision training that's possible. So I've got my eyes up and in. I'm smelling that thing with my right nostril. I know I've got cranial nerve 5 deficiency on this side. That there are connections. So going back to, hey, Z Health updates their curriculum based on new things coming out. Hey, there are connections from the pons, specifically trigeminal nerve, into the medulla. We need to consider that now. It's no longer just the regional things that live next to each other fire on each other. There are actually some kind of global cascade effects in this area. So if you were working on trigeminal nerve before that information, 5, you'd be playing with 4. So actually, which would be tip of nose, that eye muscle that pulls that in. We would be looking at 6, which would be distance vision. And those would be the ones that you really consider to try and activate a 5. But I wasn't seeing that with my clients. I was seeing some sort of a connection between like feeling gross from jaw work, from teeth work, feeling like there was a personal finding, like feeling anxious and kind of getting kind of like that tightness in my stomach would lead me to kind of chewing on my own lip, like just kind of on the skin on the inside, trying to catch just a little bit to chew on. Like it was odd. Like again, unaware to aware because of a brain education was the like amazing process. So I'm aware of my behavior here. I'm like something's up, something's up here. It's giving me a feeling, an emotion, and like a motor chewing response. I'm like something's up between cranial nerve 5, muscles of mastication, teeth, sensation, and gut and something. So when that information came out in Z Health, hey, there are some major connections between the trigeminal nerve and the medulla, where your internal regulation lives, your protection of neck, tongue function, specifically sticking it out. Oh, I think that was actually went to the right, so it's still a right dysfunction. I know that. I work on it a lot to help myself just, again, instead of taking a pill, instead of doing something for anxiety, you just need to recognize you have it and go and do things that you know are helpful for your own neurology. Specifically me working on my tongue, right side of my tongue, swallowing. We already know that that was a deficiency in 2018-19. Shows it's kind of some things. It's not about fixing. It's about knowing and utilizing it when you need it. Of course, I'm all on the hunt to fix. But if you think about how long someone might live with a deficiency, how much they're wired to just behave how they behave in their current environment, sometimes change is very tricky and very hard. And that's a big thing that you need to know about with neurology is it's not like a lot of people pursue the fix, the magic pill, the wow, I did that, my neck pain is completely gone forever. It's more of a journey, it's more of a process. There are a lot more ebbs and flows to that for a lot of people, and the more head injuries you have, the more damage you've done to yourself in your lifetime, the more reality that is. The person that got one injury and one problem and you neurologically changed what was going on because of that injury, yeah, a lot of people can walk away going, I'd never had that neck problem again. It wasn't me though. But I'm so happy for those people that just get a relief that sticks. This pursuit, like I think that's why I think about things so in depth, is because I didn't get a surface level. I went to a course, I learned an eye drill, and now my shoulder problem is completely gone. Effect. I had to keep digging and keep digging. Go, that helped a little bit. Why? This helped a little bit. Why? That helped that client a little bit. Why? Well, we think this is going on, so let's try that. Ooh, it worked. Like this is a big experience gathering over from 2014 to now we're in like 2019, 2018. So I'm going, ooh, there are cool. I thought so. I felt that. I'm seeing that with some unique clients, and I went, all right. So I'm building my drill. I've got smell on my right side. I've got my eyes converged up and in for cranial nerve 3. I added bite on the right side for cranial nerve 5. I added a smile, cranial nerve 7. So trying to smile with one half of your face, very challenging. But if you just try and pay attention to it, you are creating more activation on one side than the other. So I said, great, I'll add a smile, cranial nerve 9, back of throat stuff. I'll add a swallow, cranial nerve 11. I'll add SCM contraction. And cranial nerve 12, I will push my tongue into my left cheek because 12 pushes your tongue straight out. So if you have a deficient right nerve, I'm thinking through this that way. It pushes straight out. So if it's deficient right nerve, it'll push to that side. There it is. So push out, not working so well. Tongue will actually move towards that side. So looks like I can look at it and correct it. Visual learning is a thing. So it was sticking out. So I'm pushing it hard into my left cheek, and this is roughly what the drill looked like. I'm sitting tall. hmm, hmm, hmm. And that was the drill. And the bite down on that. So, oh, that's right. I had to bite on like it's a little tool for biting. So I actually had to push my tongue into my teeth because obviously, if I'm biting on something, it's not going to get all the way into my cheek. So I just pushed it up into my teeth, and I like immediately felt calmer. Like that. That's the best way I can describe it. It was like, oh, huh. Didn't realize how kind of wound up I was, but makes sense. We're like 2 hours into a course, artificially lit room, in a different state, in a different city, with a lot of people that I don't see often, a lot of acquaintances and friends that you just come together at these courses, a lot of new people to meet. Yeah, I'm wound up. So I remember doing that drill for like 3 breaths and going, oh, wow, I feel a lot calmer. Break time. Go outside, no light sensitivity. Went on to something. So this was kind of a confirmation for me that if you can assess and determine what is underactive, overactive, or damaged, and you can put together targeted activation to those areas, you can get some pretty big changes. So I played with that the rest of the weekend, or the Thursday through Sunday. So it was my drill for going outside, and it was phenomenal. Like, I even tested it. I went, all right, I won't do the drill. I'll go outside. I'll see how light sensitive I am. I'll do the drill outside and see if there's any change. And oh, sure enough, I didn't even have to do the full thing. I had the neck going. I had the chomp going. And I had the eyes going with the smell. So I took away the tongue. I took away the smile. No, I did keep the smile. So I'm just outside doing this, and light sensitivity would go away. So I took that, I sprinkled it in throughout my day. That's kind of what you need to start doing with drills that work for you. It's not just a one and done approach. You are trying to drive plastic change to your brain. So if you don't want light sensitivity, you got to put the work in to creating enough activation for your brain to change. Current research, I say current, but again, I'm not in Z Health courses in live time anymore. I would like that's on me. I do not do the research part of what is most current. This is me remembering things from my Z Health curriculum experience, and having worked with it enough, it's kind of a part I need to update. But last time I heard, about 40 hours of activation for a specific nerve for it to stay changed, semi-permanent plastic change. Meaning, if you just work on getting that nerve to fire and activate consistently, but then you go back to the lifestyle and habits that were a part of it not being great in the first place, it will just revert. So semi-plastic is what we can expect, and again, it's a lifestyle thing. Like, we already have to live lifestyles that promote health. This is just an easier and more intelligent way of doing it. So instead of, I don't know how you would fix light sensitivity if it wasn't just have a tool, put sunglasses on. So I'm doing that drill. I go back to San Diego, and I am not wearing sunglasses during any of my coaching stuff. And I realized how important that was. Kids couldn't see my eyes. Our eyes are how we connect with people foundationally. If you don't look at someone and look at them with intention, you're going to leave a lot of connection on the table. And I realized that, wow, I'm looking at all of these kids' eyes while I'm trying to look at all of their eyes while I'm talking to them. I'm wearing sunglasses. They can't see it. So there is a disconnect between us that I wouldn't have known about unless I did that drill, didn't have to wear my sunglasses at soccer practice, and actually looked at each of them in the eye. They looked at me differently. And I went, that's important. It is so I don't want to wear sunglasses anymore. I don't want to wear contacts. I heard the argument when I moved to Oregon. Oh, I always wear sunglasses. I'm protecting my vision for the long term. And and I went, in my own head, it's like, whatever. I'm not here to argue or try and change this guy's complete perspective on life. But I looked at it and went, it's a tool that's making you worse. You are now depending on a tint that is not your natural eyesight to do anything. That's not maintaining health. That is using a crutch, and that crutch allowing you to ultimately just get weaker. That's what contacts and glasses are. They allow your brain to continually get weaker as you are putting better and better and better prescription on them. So I didn't want to wear sunglasses anymore, so I started doing that drill often, every day. Right before I went out onto a soccer field in the truck, I would do it again. At stoplights where I'm just waiting in line, I would do another breath or two. So I started sprinkling in this drill that really helped me out, and I'm more calm as well. And obviously the world is less bright. My vision is clearer. Pretty impressive, pretty wild stuff. Here's the wildest part of it. I saved it for last. Biting. So that whole idea of biting during this drill, there's this thing called graded biting. So I played with that. I went, ooh, can I make this drill stronger? Can I make it better for myself? What if I just, instead of bite, do a graded bite? 10%, 30%, 40%, 60%, whatever. And so I'm doing that drill like on day 3, and I added like a 80-90% bite. I don't know, let's see what happens. I almost threw up on the floor. Yeah, almost threw up on the floor. I go, look up here, bite down there, feel this flex, bite. Whoa, almost. And I went, I start like everything, like I'm gonna throw up. Eyes start watering, mouth starts watering, gut feels gross. Like, what did I just do? It goes away. I'm like, the hell is that? And so I go, well, let me try it again. Do it again, building up graded tension, get to that 60, 70, 80 again. All went. What? I'm almost making myself throw up here? I don't get it. I don't get it. We did learn, hey, something around trigeminal nerve and medulla. Medulla, also vagus nerve, internal regulation. Your vagus nerve feeds into your insular cortex. Your insular cortex is a balance association center, along with emotional regulation, how long you feel pain, what type of pain response you have, a lot of stuff going, gut stuff. So I ultimately showed myself that there's something damaged or underactive in that connection, in that pathway. We go to break. I'm like, I wonder if I'm all right. I go outside. It's the best. It's the best my vision has been. But I do have this kind of low grade in my insides, in my stomach. I go to Doc. I go, Doc, I just played with this drill. It's been phenomenal for light sensitivity. I just added graded biting to it, and I almost got sick on the floor. He goes, oh, interesting. Like, you got a health history stuff around that? And I went, and it didn't dawn on me until that point. I went, oh, what? Ah, whoa, yeah. He goes, what went on? I went, wisdom teeth. I got 4 pulled out, and then when I went in to get 4 pulled out. When I come out, they said they found 6, but they didn't just find 6 to pull. There were 2 on the bottom that were partially encased in the bone still, so they had to essentially pry and scoop them out of the bone. I didn't know that you could have long-term effects from things like that. I just thought, if we're doing that to people, it must be safe. You should be all right after. No, not the case. Everything we do to people can have a cost, and the people that are doing them have no idea. They have no idea what they are doing in that moment that could have a potential long term negative effect for that person. I don't blame them. They are doing it because they feel that they are helping people, but we just need to update our system. Completely need to update it on the neurology, not just the body and the biomechanics and the human physiology stuff that's neck down. We need to incorporate neck up, but then we would have to have people to do something about that, and we just aren't in that world yet that you can easily refer to someone that understands neuroanatomy and applied neurology to be able to go, hey, you just had 6 wisdom teeth out. Sounds like a pretty severe surgery in comparison to the normal one. We need to make sure before you do that surgery, test all the things that we can test for your mouth and your teeth and the surrounding structures. Let you get your surgery and just continually retest it like once a month for the next 6 months and activate things that show up that are underactive. That would save a lot of people a lot of problems that they don't know that they're having. I just have a shoulder problem. It could absolutely have a foundational impact from that oral surgery that you had. It could be a part of the solution for that shoulder issue. It's not uncommon, or it's not out of the realm of possibility. So yeah, actually, wisdom teeth, pretty big wisdom tooth surgery, and then something that I completely forgot. Wild, like every day can be a health history day. It's just, why would we remember some of the worst things that have happened to us? So I completely forgot about dry socket. So I got the wisdom teeth surgery. I followed all the instructions. I followed the syringing and washing those areas out. I tried to eat foods that would not get stuck in there. And I woke up and I could feel like swelling. I had like pain in my cheek. Told my parents. They brought me into the surgeon. It wasn't a surgeon at that point. It was just the dentist. And the dentist went, "Oh yeah, it looks like dry socket." Or what's that? And so like something got stuck in there while your uh, gums were healing, and it created an infection. And the management of it, cut open the wound, spray water on a severed nerve. They were thinking, well, it's spray water in the area to get the stuff out, but it's also spraying on a exposed nerve that is never supposed to be exposed in your life. You're not supposed to lose your teeth. You're not supposed to get your teeth knocked out. We actually have like survival mechanisms called arms and eyes and balance systems to prevent us from hitting our head and hitting, knocking out teeth and everything of the sort. We have now chose to do that. Whether it's someone saying you need a wisdom teeth surgery, I had no issues. I think that's one of those things that's a business model. We make a lot of money on wisdom tooth surgeries, so if we can, let's pull them. I didn't have the argument was there might not be enough space for them all to grow in, so let's just pull them all now. That was the argument. I didn't have dysfunction. I didn't have problems, but that's our system. I am in the chair, and this is the absolute most pain I have ever been in my life. Every time they would go to spray water into that wound, I would get pain. I can't tell you one place in particular. It was the right side of my body. Pain. So much pain. I'm gripping the chair. All I want to do is get away from this person. I am just, it is the most intense pain experience I have had in my life. And I say experience because there's emotion in it, there's sensation in it, there's movement in it. Everything I've got is just flexed. So angry, so irritated, just miserable pain. And they do like 3 or 4 washes. So this is 3 or 4 of the most severe pain experiences. It hits my whole right side of my body. Neurologically, it makes sense. Your brainstem, specifically the pontomedullary reticular formation, the PMRF, which is a web-like structure that sits over your brainstem. Your brainstem is where all the cranial nerves live. They are all about survival. They are senses to get you through your world, and they are that that web-like structure, the PMRF, is supposed to inhibit pain. So I just said, all right, let's cut open the gums, cranial nerve 5. Let's spray water on an exposed nerve, cranial nerve 5. And that sent a cascade effect of a just pissed off brainstem. It allowed all of the pain through. No inhibition was left. So that was the most severe pain that I had ever been in, and I didn't remember it until that moment of I tried a drill. I got sick. I went to doc. He asked, have you had anything happen in there? And I went, yep, yep. And I told him that story. He goes, you can have potential local infections because of oral surgeries for years after the fact. And I went, so what does that mean? And he went, it sounds like by trying to create activation to this underactive, damaged area, you created a new flush of blood flow, a new flush of awareness of that whole area. And your brain realized, you've got infection, we need to clean that up. But it had just essentially gone to sleep on the area. And that's pretty common with that type of severe pain. Don't focus on it. Forget it. Make it disappear. It's short-term, moment-to-moment survival. So going, wow, okay, yeah, I still kind of feel gross. I took it easy on that grading experience, but then I got back to San Diego. I was like, I want that to be better. I don't want to get sick I don't want to, I want this. And if you looked at old pictures, in going into senior year was when I had that wisdom tooth surgery. So that extreme pain was early it was still actually summer. And you can see, I don't have jaw definition. I'm swollen. And all of the pictures of me is just this kind of swollen, undescript kind of jaw. And I haven't looked back to see did that ever change. But that was I saw senior pictures, and it was like, oh yeah, there is definitely not that definition and not that line coming through. So I got back to San Diego. I started working on it and really paying attention. Is it 50% graded by 60? Where do I elicit that feeling? And I found that breathing through it, really deep breaths, made it go away. But then I woke up on the onset of a tournament or a showcase with the soccer, and I felt sick. Different sick though. How I described this sickness, it felt like neurologic illness, meaning my neck ached, my whole face ached, my teeth ached. I had all the energy I needed to have to do anything I wanted to do. But my sinuses felt like it wasn't a normal stuffy. It was just something's off. Cranial nerve 5 is also your sinuses. It's an important one. So I got a illness of some type. It lasted for 2 days. I did everything I needed to do at that showcase. I had no problems working with kids, coaching, warming up goalkeepers, but I was not feeling good. It felt like a mild flu, like I had some hot and cold sweats. I had some just weird skin tingling throughout. But what I noticed was over that period, I became a calmer person. and I'm not a very calm person. Someone that's watching this that knows me is like, wow, he's calmer. But in relativity, so hyperactive, can't really even think, to like being able to listen to people, not feeling like I got to interject with whatever I want to say, or I walked calmer, I walked slower. It wasn't as rigid and quick like I needed to get somewhere. Really interesting, and that was the thought on the day was, man, we don't we don't know anything about vision. It's only getting worse. Light sensitivity is a big deal for a lot of people. Even if you haven't hit your head, the more time you're on your screens, the more you're making hyperactivation of your midbrain where your vision lives, and the more likely you go outside and go, oh my god, I need sunglasses. It's also making your vision worse. But what an interesting concept, that if you can improve your vision, you might improve just you as a human, a more calm human, a more relaxed human, a more aware human. For me, different looking, like having that swelling go down is a different face shape. That was a wild experience, and it didn't happen until my third structure class, and every one of them evolved on themselves. So to close, your vision is crazy important. It can get better. It can get worse. It depends on what you've done to yourself in your history. What do you do to yourself on a daily basis that determines its quality? But if you are in the camp of my vision is getting worse and I'm going to optometrist and I am just constantly getting a better prescription, maybe look for other options. Maybe see if some vision skills, some respiratory training, some vestibular activation changes your vision for the better, because it doesn't neurologically make sense that it's okay for the primary sensory system to degrade over a lifetime. I feel like that is an environment thing. That is something that we've done to ourselves, that if we want to reverse, we need to be aware of how often we're on our screens. We need to be aware of how often we're looking at things at different distances. Again, kids are losing their distance vision faster than any other human of all time. That's not okay. That's not okay. Like, again, everything we're doing to ourselves to make life easier is producing brains that are less active. We need activation to survive. It's an important function. So get with the modern age of you can change your vision. You might have some work to do on a daily basis to do it, but I can tell you it is absolutely worth it. I am not walking around with perfect vision. I don't think I ever will be, but I have functional vision. It's not getting worse, and I can do the things that I want to do. And the exciting part is anytime I can find a little bit more improvement, eye massage, eye cupping, using my pinholes, getting healthier overall so I can do more vision training. I couldn't do vision training to start my career with this stuff. I would tank. My brain was already too upset. So actually, creatine was a big part of essentially creating an energy reserve, enough so for me to start doing something about my vision much more deliberately. Creatine at larger volumes for a short amount of time are showing some pretty cool stuff for brain health. Worked for me. It is working for me. I still take small amounts. We'll probably go back to another big dose 5 months or so. I did 6 months on it. So phenomenal changes, but your vision can change, better or worse. We live in a world that we can change it for the better. So it's worth it. Have a good one.